Hi and welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, I've got some more information that's been coming out slowly over the last 24 hours on the Kyosho Dirtmaster, and it's looking even better. Now, one thing, and all the feedback that I've been reading all your comments. Yes, it is going to be a kit. This is not a ready to run, and I think a lot of you are going to be really chuffed with that. Also, it's got bearings. Yes, believe it or not, it comes with bearings, even though it's a middle of the line kit. Now, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to David over at Kyosho RC, as he managed to get a lot more information from a Japanese website, and he emailed it over to me so that I could make another video with more information for you all. So a massive thank you to him. I've got hair in my mouth. I can also confirm March. Yes, it looks to be towards the end of March. Now, that doesn't say whether that's a worldwide release. I'm pretty sure we're going to see it a bit staggered. So I would take that still with a pinch of salt, that yes, it will be March, but it could be that we see it later in America or a bit later in UK and Europe. But hopefully end of March, beginning of April. So get saving your pennies. It is the same chassis as the RB5. Looking at the images and comparing it to an RB5 chassis, it looks like they didn't actually change anything at all. So it's just a direct port, and it looks like they've done away with the composite carbon and replaced it with just plastic to bring the price point down. Now, I can understand, you might say, well, why would they do that? Well, I really feel that they are putting this out to compete with this. Now, that's exactly what this is. This is mainly all plastic, but the quality of the plastics is really good, and everybody that builds one of these and comments on the Genova says the plastics are great quality. So even though it's going to be plastic, I think we're still, knowing Kyosho, still going to be really good quality. But it does read like exactly a competitor for something like this, which I think is a brilliant idea. And I've been reading all your comments about having them and being able to race them and things like that, and it's definitely, hopefully, going to start to be a trend. Now, Night Customs also reached out to me, and they've got a really modern buggy, and they've put a Cat XLS body on it, and it looked brilliant. So maybe we could start, maybe I should do that on an episode, get one of the latest racing buggies and then see if I can retrofit a more older body on it. As between me and you, they just look so much better. Even though it might be fractionally slower around the track, well, I don't mind that. I'd rather have better looking buggies. Anyway, I digress, sorry. One thing for sure is, being that the chassis hasn't been changed, it won't accept a 2S Shorty lipo pack. You will have to get a Tamiya style 2S lipo if you're going to run brushless. Now, in one of the pictures, we got to see a lot more about the slipper clutch, and you can see that they've actually fitted a Le Mans motor to it, so it should be able to run quite decent power through it as well. So that's really nice. And now, I don't know if there's any modifications to the driveline. One thing is, it's definitely gear diff. Now, I'm not sure if it's an oil diff. The image shows that there is a gasket on it, which usually means that you can fill it with oil, but there's two little rings that you get on each end for the outdrives that seal it in. I couldn't see on those, but I assume so, being that there's a gasket. It's a gear diff, so easy to work with, metal gears obviously. Whether there'll be other options, I honestly don't know. I was going to look in to see whether the RB5 had a different kind of setup that you could mix and match, but I never got a chance to have a look, so I don't know, but that could be a possibility. That brings me on to another point. Being that there's not any real modifications from the RB5, it looks like you will be able to purchase carbon composite parts and fit them onto yours. So if I was you and you want to take a bit of a gamble, as we don't know 100%, but it does look very likely, that you can take some RB5 carbon composite parts and put them on your buggy. So that would be pretty cool, that there's all these little bits and pieces. And as I had a look this morning, and there is a few floating around, so you can get some upgrade parts, but like you say, there is no guarantee until you've got one and you try to fit it. So there you go, just something to be mindful of, and some idiot might have picked up a few, so stay tuned for that one. I'm not giving away too much. You'll just have to subscribe, and as soon as it comes out, I might be able to show you all the little bits and pieces that I picked up, and hopefully they fit. Anyway, I digress. Yes, it's got dog bones on the rear, turnbuckles all round, which is nice to see. One thing from the images, we can see that it is actually a polycarbonate wing. A lot of the Kyoshos that have been coming out have been a hard plastic wing, but on this one, it does look like it's polycarbonate. Also, the body has something a bit strange about it. Obviously, this body has been made for this car, but over the rear cab, if you look on some of the images, the whole back section of the cab is totally open. That was a bit of a strange one to notice, and normally they finish off or go down at the back. But this one is totally open at the back of the cab. I have to say, I do like the body. It is pretty nice. I must admit, the paint job is a little bit... I think they could have really gone to town with it and really zinged it up to have like the box art one, whereas this one's a bit more muted. But hey, you'll be able to paint it up how you like. But I'm pretty sure a few of you out there will be able to make it look absolutely stunning. So compared to the RB5, this version has plastic shocks all round, but they are breathable and they are threaded. So I think they'll do for most things, and it's very much like what we see currently on the Genova. But the Genova did do some upgrades that you could get hold of. Unfortunately, I never got a set because I had to get them from Japan and they were just too expensive. But hopefully we will see some extra options coming out for it, as it would be really easy for Kyosho to release a lot of the hop-ups and upgrades that were on the RB5 originally. So what do you all think? Do you think this is definitely looking like a double thumbs up? A lot of you seem to be very positive in my last video, and now we have even more information and images. Are you definitely getting one? Have Kyosho gone and pulled it out of the bag, or is it just a total waste of time? Now, there was a few people that commented, why didn't they just bring out the Ultima? And I can understand that, and hopefully we will see that as soon as I know more, and I will place an order for one. It will be on the show soon. Soon as, well, it'll be the end of March, won't it? Thanks very much. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.